Ever bought a house or about to buy a house or a piece of property and you're about to sign all the paperwork and you see the term easement and are not sure what that means? Um, I am going to go over the three main types of easements. My name is Stu Barnes Real Estate in the Raleigh, North Carolina metro and suburban area. And let's get started. I am going to just give you some simple information here. First of all, I will go over the three types. Get the screen full here. There's three types of easements, the typical easements. Easement and appurtenant, or an appurtenant easement. Prescriptive easements, or it's also called easement by prescription. And lastly, there's the easement in gross, which is probably the most popular because they're like utility easements or whatnot you see in most residential properties. This particular, if you look here, I'm going to use this piece of property as an example for an easement, appurtenant, or an appurtenant easement. Same thing. You look at the property lines here, and this is an example. It's a very elongated property, and it's an example of being landlocked. You might have heard the term landlocked before. What that means is here's the road, and there's no access to the property here. So it looks like there is here, but it's not. It's about a 10-foot buffer. But you got this road here and this property, and there's no way to legally access it. This homeowner, say the house is here, this landowner, which has a house here, this homeowner has no legal access from the public road to get to their property. This big property here, let's just say this is a big piece of land. This homeowner owns it all the way to the property line here. So the street kind of runs through this landowner's property. So if this landowner wants access from the road to this, his property, an easement would have to be put in place, an appurtenant easement where this homeowner says, you can drive over my piece of land to get to your land. You don't own it, but you can drive over it. A prescriptive easement, which is not as typical, or easement by prescription, they say as well, this is more of a legal thing, but if over 30, 40 years, this person's used this piece of land to get to the property, and there is no easement in place, this landowner could argue that he or she should be given the right to keep using that by prescription because they've been using it. It's somewhat like adverse possession, but all of that is more of a legal aspect that doesn't really, realtors can't help you with legal matters, and an attorney does, especially in North Carolina. So this map here kind of gives you an example of appurtenant and prescriptive easements. The main easement when you're buying a house, if you're more likely to see easement in gross. And easement in gross is an example here where you've got utility easements. Like this is a regular survey you're looking at, and you've got regular easements here, which isn't marked here, but there's a utility easement going here where like phone lines, power lines, cable is buried under here. So a utility easement, any easement, you're just giving access to your property. You own it. They don't possess the property. You're just giving access to them to work on the lines here. This is written out on the survey. There's a 20-foot drainage easement here. So there's no, you can see here, they mark like water meter and whatnot and other meter here, but there's no structure. Any easement, you cannot put any permanent structure on. It's called an improvement. But this is, I'm assuming just grass and a driveway, and it's just marked. Easements are invisible lines for the most part that mark the line where the easement starts and stops. So if you have any other questions about easements, anything real estate, let me know. My YouTube channel, you can subscribe to it by the bottom right, and I will update weekly with real estate questions. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.